In one of the highest profile murder cases in South Dakota history, the man accused of killing his wife and 2 sons walked free.
A jury found John Mathis not guilty of killing 30-year-old LaDonna Mathis, 4-year-old Brian, and 2-year-old Patrick on their farm near Mount Vernon in 1981.
But if John Mathis wasn't the murderer, who killed the mother and her 2 children? Angela Kennedy continues our cold case investigations as she finds out there's little chance anyone will ever be held accountable for the killings.
This is CBS.
For a year and a half, the Mathis murders and trial of husband and father John Mathis made the nightly news.
The Mathis murder case has been called one of the biggest in South Dakota history and one of the most intensely investigated. Law officers only had one suspect, John Mathis.
The murders took place on September 8th, 1981.
The family had been living in a machine shed. Their house had burned down in July, and they were in the process of building another.
LaDonna Mathis was shot twice in the head while she slept. 4-year-old Brian was shot in the right ear. 2-year-old Patrick was shot in the back of the neck and then in the left eye. Investigators say Patrick was kneeling in bed before the second bullet ended his life.
The only member of the family to escape was 9-month-old Dwayne, who was staying with relatives.
John Mathis claimed he was attending to a pig on the farm when he heard a car. Mathis told investigators he wrestled with a masked man and was shot in the arm and passed out.
It was about 4 a.m. that John Mathis called a sheriff's deputy and said that his family had been murdered.
Graffiti, which read "Mathis sucks" with the family's last name spelled incorrectly, was left on the door of the shed.
John is a quiet man. He doesn't talk a lot. You don't know what John's thinking.
The shell casings found in Mathis's pocket matched that of the murder weapon, a .22 caliber rifle. However, the gun was never recovered. Mathis claimed his son had picked up the shells he found on the ground a day earlier, and that 22 shells could be found everywhere in the country. During Mathis's trial, a juror found the very same type of shell used in the murders on the sidewalk by the courthouse. The prosecution claimed it had been planted. After 3 days of deliberation, the jury found Mathis not guilty.
As things stand right now, we have 3 unsolved murders in the Mount Vernon area, and from the leads and the evidence that we have, I have no idea where we would look. But the jury's made its decision, and that's something society has to live with.
Will the investigation be reopened?
Well, I suppose it will be.
How about the murder of your wife and your 2 sons? The Attorney General said that it's now an unsolved case.
I hope they can catch up to him.
Is there anything you can do to help?
I don't know. I've tried all I can.
John Mathis went back to farming near Mount Vernon after the trial, where he has lived for decades. Coming up tonight at 10, we dig into another unsolved murder, that of a Jane Doe who was identified decades later in northwest Iowa. Our investigation turns up evidence that has never been made public before and finds out what it will take to finally crack this cold case.
I don't know who I believe killed Wilma, but I do know there's several people that know who killed Wilma or that were there and saw Wilma get killed.
Don't miss our KELOLAND News investigation, which reveals new details in the Iowa cold case waiting on technology to be solved, tonight at 10.